Ian Duncan Smith has called for a review into China's investments into British businesses. The former Tory leader has said Chinese ownership of British businesses should be examined in a national security review to measure Beijing's growing power. Mr. Duncan Smith was a key figure in the Tory revolt against Prime Minister Boris Johnson over Chinese telecoms firm Huawei's access to Britain's 5G network earlier this year. He recently also called on Mr. Johnson to help Britons learn to live with the ongoing coronavirus pandemic. Mr. Duncan Smith claimed ministers have failed to tackle the scale of China's influences on the UK's strategic industries. He asserted Beijing's investments may be a bid for increased influence, and said, "What's going on is the insertion of Chinese influence in all sorts of areas. It's going on piecemeal, and it's not been properly collated. I believe the government has to pull it together in a strategic review and wonder what the overall impact on the UK is." The former party leader cited r.e.b.el Group, the UK's leading supplier of blood plasma, in his calls for a review on China's investments in Britain. Formerly owned by the NHS, r.e.b.el Group was privatised in 2013, before being bought by a Chinese investment firm in 2016. The group uses U.S. patients' blood plasma to develop treatments and drugs in an Elstree lab, and claimed an important priority for them is to use plasma from recovered coronavirus patients to develop better treatments for the virus. In August, it was revealed in r.e.b.el's documents the U.S. Committee on Foreign Investment asked the group in 2019 to sell off its American operations to address a series of national security concerns regarding Chinese control of a U.S.-based plasma collection business. Mr. Duncan Smith, along with China-hawk Tory MPs, also urged business chiefs to resist taking the Chinese shilling and avoid forced labor supply chains using Uyghur Muslim camps earlier this week. The former leader touted an amendment to the 2019 to 2021 trade bill allowing the UK to axe its arrangements with trading partners if the High Court rules they have committed genocide. He said during a Commons debate, "The peculiarity of the situation is that if China were any other country in the world, every government would call it out. They would demand change. Imagine if it were a country in Europe, Africa or anywhere else, there would immediately be demands and debates in the UN. That does not happen." The proposed bill will return to the Commons for debate on the Genocide Amendment this Wednesday.